Hello, hello, hello. I'm back again with the new video. This is an update um, for my fast. This is let me think about it. Saturday was the 7th. So Sunday was the 8th. Monday. This is day 9 of the fast. It is actually going really fast. I was talking to my friend about this, and she was like, because she's doing the liquid fast, and she was like, it's going really, fast. And I was like, it is, I just feel like I'm just floating, through these days or whatnot. And I think partially is because I was traveling during the first week. So that's part of the reason why why it's going a little bit more faster for me. So the last time that I spoke to you guys, I think it was like on Friday, which was day 6. So I'm into my second week and everything is all good. Like I said, in the past, I don't feel, I didn't feel as like, I didn't feel the need to eat as much prior to the fast. And I don't know if it was just my body getting prepared for it or just things going on or whatnot. But I feel like, you know, the less you eat, the more connected to spirit, if that makes any sense. I feel more present or whatnot. But at the same time, a lot of things has happened since Saturday. Saturday, I was in a car accident, and it was very interesting when I had the time to think about it. Um, so what happened was I was on the way to pick up a family member from a hotel, and and this is a part of Philly that I really don't go to at all. I stay more center city because that's where I work. But I was picking up a family member on Saturday, and I was like literally 5 minutes away from where I was going to go. And I was turning left, and I ended up getting hit on the driver's side. And come to find out, and let me tell you, if anybody's familiar with Roosevelt Boulevard, you know that I looked up that I researched that area after the fact, and it is very common. That is like they call that street is known for like lots of accidents, like, and it's kind of scary when you think about it after the fact. But the way it's very confusing. Some of the streets of Philly at times can be very confusing, and I take ownership. I was in the wrong lane, but the way there's no, the, it's easy for someone to do what I had did. Okay, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm safe. The person that was driving the other car, they were safe. You know, and I think about it like I got hit on the driver's side. Like I was literally it hit my driver's door. I heard my door crunching in. You know, so but luckily nobody was hurt or anything like that. The crazy thing about it was that it happened right in the middle of a busy intersection. And my husband was like, he after the fact, he was like, something told me to like something. I just something. He said intuitively something told him to do like to either go with me, do it, or something, or But it is, it's. I feel like everything happens for a reason. To me, accidents are not really accidents because when I look at the things that are happening after the fact, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. But the experience was just blah blah blah. The person that I got in an accident with, they were really really nasty, really nasty. Let's just put it like that. They were extremely nasty towards me, and yeah, yeah. Um, they were really nasty. Let's just put it like that. I'm just thinking about it, I'm just like, man, because it's just it. The reason I want you to remember that because, like I said, I was in the same type of predicament. I didn't say that yet. But I was in the same type of predicament. I might as well say it now. I was in the same type of predicament where I got hit on my driver's side in 2007 when I was at University of West Georgia. I was a college student. I was a senior at University of West Georgia in Carrollton, Georgia. I remember like it was yesterday. I was in a parking lot probably driving out. I probably just got finished going to like a biology class or something like that. And I was driving out the parking lot. And this girl didn't see me. I don't know if she didn't see me or what, but she was trying to get out of her parking spot. I was driving through the parking lot. So I had the right of way. She was supposed to look out, and she ended up hitting me. It was like a big bang. I remember that. And, immediately when it happened, her first reaction was, "Are you okay? I'm sorry." You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? So it was like it was a completely different type of energy versus when this happened. When this happened, the guy was very nasty. Let's just put it like that. He was really being rude. I feel like regardless if it's an accident, where people can potentially be hurt, the biggest thing you're supposed to do is make sure that, everybody's okay. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, about the car. At that point, it's like, is everybody okay? It was a lot of chaos because, of like I said, it would happen in the middle of a busy intersection. So cars were still going, and anybody who lives in Philly, from Philly, work in Philly, whatever like that, that everybody's out for themselves on that road. They don't care. They don't care. So, you have to be very careful. And the thing about it is I couldn't even open my door. Like, I couldn't even open my freaking door. That's how crazy it was. That's how bad that it got hit. Is that I couldn't open my door. So I had to get out through the passenger side in order to like assess the situation, to take pictures. Mind you, like I said before, there was like cars coming from, two directions, and I had to be cautious and careful not to get hit. And so all of that's going on, and I'm very sensitive to my surroundings. So I started to get overwhelmed. I started to get really start getting upset, because how it was being handled, and I was just very, I ended up getting having to. I am not gonna lie, I ended up having to go off on the person for a minute because he was in my conversation and had no business being in it. That's all I gotta say about that. But after I had said my choice of words, the people that was around, calmed down. Let's just put it like that. Because it was him and this other guy. They were kind of being kind of abrasive, kind of, But, I feel like that's the energy of now I'm not going to say all Northeasterners are like that, but that's just the energy of how it is up here. People just straight to the point, it can come off very rude, nasty. But I'm not going to say everybody's like that. Because I've created great friendships with people who I met down south and people up here, or people from a distance that are from the Northeast, and they're very kind and polite or whatever like that. But I'm just saying, just the energy, it just was just too much going on. But so that got me I was getting frustrated. Plus I was homesick. We just got back from Savannah, and I wasn't really. You know how when you leave an area, it's like, I remember Nubia said something. She mentioned when you have traveled somewhere and now your spirit is trying to catch up back up to where you are now. It's kind of like that. So I feel like that was going on with me. So I was feeling a little homesick and getting frustrated, and and with my nana, passing and things like that, I'm taking it the best way I know how to, and that's just to, to acknowledge it, but at the same time understand that, she would want us to live our lives and be the best that we can be. So it's about, holding it together, but at the same time, identifying my feelings and my emotions and expressing myself too. It's important to do that, not to hold stuff in. But it was just a lot of emotion. So I was holding it the best way I could. But but luckily, people came around to help us move our cars to where we need to be at. But you know how? Let me tell you, and I think that's part of the reason why I was kind of bothered. It was so interesting that everybody was so focused on getting to where they needed to go. Nobody stopped to help. No, the only people that helped were the people like the collision people. Like there's this collision shop or whatever. They clearly know that this is an area where accidents happen because they came out of nowhere and was like, we have a body shop, you all right, y'all all right, we can help y'all to move out of the intersection so the traffic could keep going. They were being helpful, but it's just interesting that they magically showed up. So in a way, it was good that they were there because they helped us get to out the way or whatever like that, and they gave us gave us information about alternatives or whatever like that. But at the same time, it was just like I thought it was interesting that the only people that came out to really help us were people who know that this area is a high accident area, and they know it's a high accident area. So to me, they probably, in my opinion, there's people that live in that area that probably work where that collision shop is. So when they see that the accidents happen, they come up, make sure you all right, help you out or whatever. But they'd be like, we got a collision shop. So I find that very, that's smart, but at the same time, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, so you're helping me because you have a collision shop. But at the same time, I do feel thankful that they were there because they helped us clear out the way or whatever. So, but the police came to, the cop came or whatever, the regular stuff that happens. And then I had to, my husband came because he thought that my car probably wasn't going to, he thought my car wasn't drivable, what it actually was. But he came and we got I got the family member and, and we went back home. But yeah, I was just like, whew. I was supposed to go to work the following day. I couldn't do it. Y'all know how it is if you've ever been in an accident, whether you were driving or you not. You just feel, So yeah, I didn't, yeah. But I had some time to definitely reflect on that. I find it so interesting that this is happening while, I'm fasting. All of this stuff is happening while I'm fasting, my grandmother passed away and, got in an accident and, just a lot of stuff is going on, and I feel like it's happening for a reason. I'm supposed to learn something from each thing, and I know it is. And one of the common themes is to let go. And I also thought about how it's interesting that I'm in my 9th year, and in my 9th year, that same type of accident happened. Completely different type of energy, and at that time, I wasn't really aware. I wasn't as conscious of things as I am now. I wasn't as connected. I was in a whole completely different space back then. I was in a completely different relationship back then. I was still in school. I was still learning more about myself. You know what I'm saying? I was starting to become more into who I am now. That was the beginning phase. That was the beginning phases that I was in that transition of really growing into what I am now during that time phase. So I'm just looking at it from a completely different mindset, and it's just interesting because down for somebody that's from the South, cars it's very convenient to have a car because it's very spread out in the Northeast. Public transportation is everywhere, which is a great thing. You can have cabs. They have the Uber and the Lyft. You can catch the train. You can catch the bus. It's easy to do the public transportation. But down south, everything's spread out. So you're better off. And the bus line don't go everywhere, especially if you live in the suburbs. Like, you don't really find them out there. So it's convenient to have a car. So, when I think of a car, in my eyes, it's like a sense of independence. It's a sense of freedom because you don't have to depend on. You could just jump up and go. If you need to go to the store, you just go. You don't have to walk. You know, you don't have to walk to the bus station or whatever you like that, or call up a cab or call up an Uber. You could just go. That's it. So it's like a sense of freedom, a sense of independence when I think of a car and being able to utilize it. So, and especially when you're young and, it's a big deal when you turn 16 to go get your driver's license, and to drive or whatever like that. Even though I was a late bloomer, when you look at it from a Southerner standpoint, that's a late bloomer. If you get it like at 20, that's late. That's when I officially got my driver's license. That's late for a Southerner. So yeah. So back to what I was saying. So it represents a sense of independence or whatever like that. So, when I think back, because that was a long time ago. That was 2007. So I was like, so what was going on during my life during that time period of that accident? And I said, I remember having a fear of getting in an accident. That was my fear. And I've been having that fear now, of a fear of getting hit, of getting in an accident, of getting hit. That was the fear that I have. And I'm like, why do I have this fear? Where is this coming from? This is deep rooted somewhere. And you think of fear, and you think of fear of getting in an accident, fear of not being in control of your life, not being in control of your destiny, not being in control of your freedom, of not being, fearing that you won't have that it will be taken away from you. So I think I know that's where that stems from, and understanding that, yes, I do have control, and that, yes, I do have control of my life and destiny, but it all is mental, is up here, and it manifests if you're not careful, so I feel like that's what happened is, and I thought about it, especially when I took my bath today. I focused more, I did the chakras, I focused on each chakra and each affirmation related to the chakras. And I noticed I was focusing a lot more on my heart chakra. And I said that makes sense because the opposite of fear is love. So it made absolute sense to me why I was focusing more on that, because I acknowledged the fact that there's deep-rooted fear that I don't even acknowledge, and there's a lot of stuff that I hold on to. And I've been very emotional the last few days, and having, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been having like outbursts, like anger, being upset, and I know that it's being locked in here. And it's interesting. My husband is like, I just want you to just be able to express yourself and be able to, don't hold stuff in, And he said to me, he was like, I appreciate you now more than ever, because I realize that you really adjusted to being in a new space, and you're still here, talking about me. I moved up north to be with him, to allow our relationship to grow, because if you want to be married, you need to be in the same space. If you want to grow your relationship to grow, it is important to be like in the same space. So I moved to be closer to him, after being with him a year from a distance. So I moved to be with him, and it was a huge adjustment for me. And, and I feel like he now sees like, wow, it is an adjustment, to come from down south and to live up here, not having a whole lot of family up here, and not having any friends. And he was like, you've come a long way, he was like, you've come a long way, pretty much saying that I came out my comfort zone. He was like, but I don't want you to just exist. He was like, I don't want you to just exist up here. I want you to thrive up here. I want you to, not worry about, the people or the things that, make you upset. That's why I know that, part of me having to let go is to let go of that judgment or let go of that anger or that upsetment of how people react to me. I mean, it's not even me. It's just more so what they got going on. It's more so how I respond. I should always respond with love. Always respond with, kindness and understanding no matter what. And I think that was a clear eye opener, especially when that person came at me the way they did. I was just like, okay, I understand this is an inconvenience to you. However, nobody got hurt. You feel me? We're still both here. You feel me? Both of our cars had damage. However, it's fixable damage. We both had insurance. So what is the problem? So that's and then you learn that, and that also made me realize another way of letting go, like of attachments. This phone, this is nothing. This can be replaced, but I can't. Your life. Well, in a lot of ways, I'm being real deep right now when I think about it, because our spirits, in my eyes, always stay alive. But I'm still here. You get me? And that's one thing that I'm just remember, just to always be loved, and I feel like the wound work that I'm doing, a lot of wound work, and a lot of things are coming up for me. And I'm just going to remember what my husband said, to don't just exist here. Don't just tolerate being this, because sometimes I'll just be like, I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes I just be like, oh, okay, this is temporary. I'm not going to have to worry about being here that long. Not me, like being in this area that long, temporary. Because to me, I could, if I know that I'm eventually leave someplace, I'll stick it out. That's how I look at it. While some people just like, oh no, I'm about to go now. You know what I'm saying? But me, I'm just like, well, I know that there's a timeline for this, so I'll just stick it out and tolerate it for as long as I can, or whatever. But my husband saying, sometimes it takes somebody else saying, and he was like, you are doing the work. I see you doing the work. I see you growing. I see you doing things outside your comfort zone. I've seen that you're starting to have friendships with people here. I see you created an intensive with, you created intensive with the friend. You are in these intensives. You're doing a lot of work on yourself. You have people over at the house. That's a big deal because that's outside of my comfort zone. I'm really starting to open up my heart and open up my mind even more and things like that. So I'm doing a lot of great things, but also with that, you have to, things come up, what I'm saying? And the biggest thing is just learning how to have love no matter what. And I know the fast has a lot to do with this stuff happening with my feelings and things, and I know it has to do with just the current events that's been going on, and the accident just triggered another thing. So, and the crazy thing about it is that I went to get an estimate on repairs today, and I left my car with the body shop. But the crazy thing about the whole thing is that this is what trips me out. So the person that, I got a rental car, and the person asked me, so, because I have I got like an SUV. I drive an SUV normally. So they asked me, do you want another SUV? And I was like, yes, because that's normally you want to get the type of car that you always drive, right? I was like, yeah, I want an SUV, My insurance covers a car, but I know that with SUVs they're a little bit more expensive. So, or you get a sedan, and but I was like, yeah, I'll do an SUV, because even with the SUV, it's still discounted. So I just said, I'll take the SUV, and you can always trade it in for something else if you don't want to pay the extra or whatever. So he's like, well, we have a Jeep out there. And that tripped me out because let me tell you, my old car was a Jeep Cherokee. I love my Jeep Cherokee, my Jeep Grand Cherokee. I love that car. That's the car that I wanted. That's the car. I always said when I had my Jeep Grand Jeep Grand Cherokee. I said the next car I'm gonna get is a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Well, that wasn't my Jeep Grand Cherokee. I got another car which I've still grown to love. But I thought it was so funny that the rental car was a Jeep, because in my last accident, my car was a Jeep. So I just thought that was just so funny that I ended up getting a Jeep. So I was just like, this is not an accident, you know. It's just really interesting how things. It's kind of spooky, not spooky, but it's just like, whoo, like I'm really supposed to be learning something. And I'm like, okay, what, like, okay, Latoya, be the student, and really just be and just let spirit teach you. Just it's right there in front of you, you know, take it all in for what it is, you know. So it's real deep, and this video is already super long, but like I said before, my fasting is, you know, I'm doing good or whatever. I'm taking the supplements, but like I said before, and I was talking to my friend about this, she's doing her own type of supplements. We take it when we feel that we take it, you know, we take our supplements when the way that we feel our body needs it. You feel me? It is what it is or whatever. So, and the way, like, I'm not on, like, when I did the full body detox, like I said in a previous video, it's like 5 pills every 2 to 3 hours. This one is not really a set time. It just tells you how much, it tells you what is recommended each day. And it's more drinking than like taking actual supplements. They do have laxatives that you could take before you go to bed, but like I said before, I haven't been taking a laxative. But even when I did the full body detox, I didn't take the charcoal every day. Like before you go to bed, you're supposed to do charcoal because that helps release the toxins. Well, I didn't do that either. And I really feel like next time I'm really going to like do my own little concoction of herbs. I really want to. I feel like that's the best for me. Like creating my own. And I still, I know great things are to come. And it's funny because the card I pulled today from my own personal deck that I made was growth. So that, to me, that makes absolute sense. I pulled growth. And I feel like I am definitely growing. I'm continuing to grow. And I also pulled some other cards that I thought was really interesting, and I took a picture of it, and I'm about to share it with you really quick before I go, because this video is already super duper duper long. If I can find my pictures. Yeah, so I pulled the Page of Earth, which is very interesting. I pulled the Knight of Air, the World, which is Archangel Michael, and I also pulled Balance, Archangel Zakiel. And I thought that was extremely interesting. I had planned to only pull 3 cards, and when I pulled the third card, another card came along, was pulled with it, and it was Archangel Michael and Archangel Zakiel. So with the Page of Earth, to me, when I think of the Page of Earth, that's like the student, like good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging, a new area of study. So it's like the scholar that wants to research and do, you know, you're kind of restless, and you know, you may have taken on like a new type of interest or whatever, and you want to study it, but you're studying it so much or researching it so much to the point where you're not actually taking action on it. So it's cards like telling you to, you know, kind of don't focus so much on the study of it, you know, apply it, you know. And then like the Knight of Air, intelligent, decisive, idealistic, tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options. Creative solutions. With this one, I found it quite interesting also. It kind of correlates to the Page of Earth in a lot of ways, of being restless and taking on new ideas, things happening at a flashing speed. So to be kind of, to take things in very slowly, or with things like that. And I thought it was very interesting that the World Archangel Michael came about. A job where the joy, contentment, gratitude, the path towards enlightenment, this is saying that, you know, pretty much to me, this reminded me of that growth card that I pulled from my own personal deck that I created. Um, the growth card, meaning I have, um, that I have, there's a lesson that I have learned, and that through that lesson, I'm able to accept, like, go the next, excel higher, you know? Balance, Archangel Ezekiel, the need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing. This one goes back to that Knight of Air and also the Page of Earth, of like not making rash decisions, to take things in, to be patient, you know, because you know a lot of things may be going on. A lot of things that you may have wanted to manifest may be actually coming about. So to, you know, make the proper decisions and things like that. So I feel like a whole lot of emotions right now. Like right here, my heart chakra just feels so, you know. Um, but that's all I have for now. And thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely, lovely day. Talk to you later.